Hi, I'm Lucy Poole,
And I'm Joy Hayes.
and both of us are master gardeners from Dakota County. We are taking the opportunity to use vegetables that we've grown in our garden and come up with some great recipes that we have gotten from America's Test Kitchen, because those are really good, using all these fresh vegetables. I love soup, so this is a great recipe. You'll really like it. Most of these things are in your garden. That's very easy, just chop and dice and throw in a pot. So we're gonna walk through this recipe with you, and then we'll have the link at the end of it. So if you have any questions, you can look it up and see the recipe. We have olive oil in the pan, and we're gonna turn it up to get it very hot. And once it's shimmering, which means it's very hot, we're gonna throw in our squash here and our zucchini, and you'll see it's all diced in.
So we can see for sure. There it's
Oh
simmering.
yeah, that's good. So this is gonna cook for about 5 minutes. It's gonna get tender, but it's not gonna get soft. And one of the things you wanna worry about with the soup is soft, squishy, mushy vegetables. So we're gonna keep all these kind of crispy so that they have some texture to them and they're solid. So you're timing it for 5 minutes. As soon as this 5 minutes is over, we're gonna add some garlic. We're adding our garlic, and that's only going in for 30 seconds. There we go.
And this is half of the garlic that's mentioned on the recipe. So I think this is 3 cloves added to our diced zucchini and stomach squash. And once this is cooked for just a few minutes, it'll get a little browner. We are going to transfer this to a plate and tempt it with tinfoil.
Then we're going to make the second half of our recipe, and then we come back and add this later, and that's all part of keeping this kind of crunchy and not really soggy.
Some hot pads. This is a beautiful Dutch oven that will keep things cooking and get it some real good brown bits on the bottom, which is important for flavor. All right.
Good.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna put the tinfoil on this. It's gonna keep it warm. And we will come back to that. All right,
Okay.
next step.
So now we're at the second half of our recipe. We're going to add the remaining oil. So you're going to get all these ingredients and the amounts on a recipe after this video.
So we had 2 tablespoons of olive oil at the beginning, and the second 2 tablespoons at the second half.
So now we're going to heat that up, and we are going to add to this onion and carrot, and we're going to cook that for about 8 minutes. Obviously the carrot needs a little longer to get a little tender here.
And the fragrance is fabulous. The onion overflowing and little carrot. And we will set our timer for 8 minutes.
Okay, so this has been on nearly 8 minutes, but as you can see, it's just beautiful and has cooked down. So we are now going to add half of our tomatoes. And the reason we do that is we're going to make like a tomato paste out of this. And it just keeps the taste of tomatoes. It makes it very fresh and it doesn't get lost in the middle of everything. And we need to add half a teaspoon of pepper and salt. And that looks about right, I think.
That's a good amount.
I'm big on pepper.
Good.
All
No,
right.
that's more the better.
How does that look?
Looks great. So this
Okay.
was 3 tomatoes diced and cored. And this then we will cook
This
for how long?
like
was
5
it?
minutes we're gonna cook this.
Okay. each part of the recipe has its own flavor profile. So the first one was very fresh and garlicky. This one's going to be very tomatoey with the carrot flavor. And then we'll do a very fresh addition at the very end with fresh herbs. So
I'm going to add the garlic. That's only going in for 30 seconds, just till it gets fragrant. And then we're going to add some more things.
You really don't want to cook the garlic all that long sometimes because it can get very pungent and it can burn very easily. So it is good to just put it in as long as the recipe suggests, which is 30 seconds. And Lucy, what's our next ingredient?
Our next ingredient is wine. So we are going to add roughly a half a cup of wine. And it's a white wine that we're going to use. This is a Pinot Grigio, but any white wine would do. And that will cook for about 2 minutes, and it does thicken up the recipe for us. It'll make the paste a little thicker. That's all right.
We'll keep it on high because we want this to reduce down, to get very thick. The liquid is boiling off. That's from the tomatoes, and we are and the wine, and we are trying to reduce this as much as possible so it's very rich and thick.
What do you think?
It looks like it's going to, we'll give it just a couple of seconds here to reduce down as much as possible. And then what is our next step, Lucy?
Our next step is we are going to add green beans, navy beans, thyme, broth, and the remaining tomatoes and bring it to a boil. So it'll be much like a soup with our next step.
I think should we give it a
Ready?
Yeah, I think so. The beans are going to take some time because they're raw. So
here's the thyme.
That was 8 ounces of trimmed and cut green beans.
Yeah.
Now we're adding 2 teaspoons
of thyme.
Maybe 1 teaspoon of dried, and it would have been 2 of fresh.
Of fresh, right.
So,
and we don't have fresh, but we do have some fresh rosemary that we thought we could just throw in after and see what it does.
yep.
So we're going to add the navy beans and broth and bring to a boil.
Okay. And the navy beans are 2 16-ounce cans of navy beans, and we drained and rinsed them.
Right.
And this is the easiest way to add wonderful fiber. You could cook your navy beans from scratch, but this is just a very simple way. And you've rinsed off a lot of the sodium from the navy beans because you've rinsed them thoroughly prior to adding them.
Oh, it looks so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have the rest of our tomatoes going in.
Okay, and that was 3 more diced
Yep,
tomatoes.
3 more.
Look at that color, that's amazing.
And then we have the broth.
So how much broth are we adding?
So we are adding 8 cups of chicken broth here. And we're using a little lower sodium chicken broth, 33%, but you can use what you want.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's 2 cartons usually. Each one has 4 cups, so it would be a total of 8.
There's so many good things in here.
I do like the low sodium version, not the sodium free, but the little less sodium, just because I think there's a little more chicken flavor. But if you wanted to make it vegetarian, you could use vegetable broth. Same, it comes in the same kind of carton. And it would be,
Which is kind of nice. Sometimes it's very hard to find recipes that don't have meat in them.
this would be high in protein because of the beans and all the vegetables we've added.
Okay, so we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it after it boils for 15 minutes.
The final step to our minestrone soup then is, here's how it looks after it's been cooking for 15 minutes. So it's nice and
Oh, it looks so
yeah, beautiful. But we have a couple more ingredients to add to it.
good. Okay,
I'll do that.
okay. I have our plate of squash and garlic that we made right in the beginning of the recipe, and then we plated it and put it to the side. And the reason we did that is because we did not want our vegetables to be stodgy, was the word they used. I'd say soft and squishy. We want them to be kind of firm. So we did that in the beginning and then left the squash out of the soup until right now. So you add it right at the end.
And that thickens it a little bit. And
Then we add basil, and we have all the basil cut and ready to go. And it is 4 cups of loosely packed basil that we have in here. And that's ready to go. And we stir that in. Wow, that makes it so nice and thick.
And this makes a wonderful meatless meal, but high in protein because of the beans and all the added vegetables. So this can be very hearty if you're trying to eat less red meat. There you go. And then we would serve this with a crusty bread, and it'd be a wonderful dinner.
So I'm gonna ladle a bowl here just so people can see just how pretty it looks. And our kitchen is magic, and our bread just showed up. We're so lucky. There we go.
So thank you for watching, and enjoy minestrone soup from the garden.
Thank you.